everybody, welcome back to Great Northwest Weaponry. This is Thomas, and today we are doing our second ammo test video. I'm very excited about this one, and it is only happening because of the first video. I'll get into what I mean by that in a second. Previously, we had done a ammo test with 9mm Steyr in the Steyr Hahn model 1912. Today, we have got my also Austro-Hungarian Empire Rast and Gosser model 1898, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to actually check on that. I'm spacing on the date on that. But this example is from 1902. This is a very early example from the original manufacturer. They actually switched manufacturers in 1902. But this is going to be a little unlike the original video in that with the Steyr Hahn, we had some actual 9mm Steyr that we were trying out. I do not have 8mm Gosser, and I have not been able to find any for a long time. I looked back through my video catalog, and the last video that I posted that featured this gun was in 2022, of which means that it has been a minimum of 3 years since I have shot this gun. 8mm Gosser, very hard to come by. Now, I mentioned that in the Steyr Hahn ammo test video, and one of you subscribers, specifically the subscriber HP out of, I think, Austria, commented that 32 Smith & Wesson Long Wadcutter can be safely fired in the 8mm Gosser revolvers. I had heard this before, but I had kind of forgotten about it, and I decided to give it a try. I looked online, ammo pretty inexpensive for this caliber. I believe it was somewhere around the like $35 a box range for a 50-round box, and I did my research on this. I do not want to blow my gun up based on one person's word. So looked into it, and from everything that I could find, all kinds of forums, lots of people discussing this, 32 S&W LWC is supposedly a sufficient standby, or stand-in rather, for 8mm Gosser for the Rast and Gosser revolvers. So I was pretty unfamiliar with wadcutter ammunition as a whole prior to looking into this. So if you don't know what a wadcutter is, you can see it's a very strange looking cartridge here. The actual projectile is seated all the way down inside the casing, and from images that I've seen of one pulled apart, the cartridge, or the projectile goes about halfway into the casing all total. It's mostly soft lead, and they are flat on the end, and the purpose of them is for close range paper target shooting, as the wadcutter will cleanly punch a hole in paper, cardboard, even tissue, whereas round nose bullet will more so just tear and won't leave a very clean hole. So it's much easier to score competitive shooting on paper targets with wadcutter ammunition. It is also lighter recoil than the original load for whatever caliber it is that you're looking at. So very good for training new shooters on, or for people who have maybe severe carpal tunnel and have a hard time shooting but still want to. Less felt recoil with wadcutters. But from everything that I read, the pressures on 32 Smith & Wesson, specifically Long Wadcutter, LWC, are at a safe level for the Rast and Gosser, and with it being soft lead, though it's a little smaller than the original diameter, it is all soft lead and will, to some extent, expand to fill the barrel. And everything that I've read, people have pretty much raved that, yes, this is a safe alternative that should in no way hurt the gun. I am relatively comfortable with the idea of doing this, because I just, again, I've spent a long time searching people's comments on threads and forums, talking about this, looking for anybody saying that it would hurt the gun. And the worst thing that I saw was some people saying, oh, mine's not very accurate with it, but could also have, shot out rifling with a pistol that was, only manufactured prior to World War I. And again, this one is a very old example. I have shot it relatively well in the past, but it has been a long time since I've gotten to pull the trigger on this thing at all. So I'm going to go ahead and mosey on out to the woods. And interestingly, point of note here, Fiocchi does make 8mm Gosser, and it is available in some European countries from what I've understood, and that is where I got my original box of ammo from that I did previous videos on. They have not shipped 8mm Gosser into the US in years, so obtaining any has become basically an impossibility. So in this case, I was informed that there was a safe alternative that would make it to where I could shoot my gun, and I am very excited to do so. And kind of fits the theme so far. Both the pistol that we've looked at when doing these ammo tests have been Austro-Hungarian Empire pistols, which generally were chambered in strange proprietary calibers for only the one model of gun, or maybe a model of gun plus a machine gun. Anyway, let's head on out into the freezing cold, as I know my gun range area is completely buried in snow right now, and see if this stuff functions in this revolver, as I've been led to believe. Now for our shooting segment here, much like the last time we did this with the Steyr Hahn, I'm going to be putting 2 cylinders in this case through this gun, and the Rast and Gosser has some very interesting functions that you may recall. With the gate open, you can actually cycle through the cylinder by pulling the trigger. So this is a 8-shot revolver, and if you do hear shooting around, I am as I speak, I'm not far from where other people are shooting, and as you can see around me, we're in deep snow, and I couldn't really get any farther. The place that I had to go today is let's just say a little more popular than I tend to prefer. I avoid crowds when I'm shooting because, frankly, I don't know the other people that are shooting. And just better to not have a ton of background noise for videos. But we're about, I'd say 18, 20 paces from the target. Now, I have never tried this with this ammo. This is the first shots of 32 Smith & Wesson Long Wadcutter that I've ever taken through this. So we'll see if it functions. I have pretty high hopes, as we went over at the beginning of the video, and I'm excited to see how it works. All right, that was all 8. We only hit twice, but I'm also a little farther from the target here than I often do with guns this old. And again, almost forgetting how this thing works because it's been so long. It's a very interesting design. Now, I'm going to take another 8. It did function. The bullets were, in fact, passing through the barrel as they should. And we did have, 2 hits. 2 out of 8 isn't great, but I'm not going to move any closer to the target. I'm just going to try and see if I can figure out where this actually hits. And I do have enough ammo in my pocket. I could theoretically do a 3rd cylinder if I so choose. Because, again, it's been a very long time since I've gotten to shoot this thing. All right, I think one more. Yeah. Bada boom. Make sure that our ejection rod is in place there. All right, I'm going to do the first 4 single action and then the next 4 double action. Missed the last one. Guess that just means that we will have to do another 8 and see if we can end on a hit. Okay. Go ahead and clamp that. So we're doing a little bit more ammo this go around, but seeing as it functions, this ammo is not hard to get, unlike with the Steyr Hahn, where even though I finally did manage to get some ammo for it, it is scarce and sold out, within a very short time of my posting that video. I believe it had been commented on that one that one of my followers that checked said it had already sold out. So this stuff doesn't seem to be a supply issue, just a matter of my not knowing that it would be functional and having never tried it before. But now that we're trying it, I'm feeling pretty good. I actually hit most of them on that last go round. I think we only missed 2, so in inverse of the previous 8. This is a very goofy feeling revolver too. You can see it sits ridiculously high in your hand. I am freezing, so if my hands are shaking, just bear in mind, like it's like 20 degrees out here. I am freezing. But here we go. I'm gonna do first 4 double action and then switch to single action on these ones. Still ending on a miss. Well, I'm not gonna use any more here today because I would definitely like to save some. It does function and it does seem relatively accurate, at least as accurate as I am. And this, again, is technically outside of what would be the normal range, that people would have been trained for with an old gun like this. These were more often than not a sign of status. The sights are very rudimentary, but it's just awesome to actually get to bring this out and shoot it again. So we will be seeing this again in the near future. I will be primarily using 32 Smith & Wesson Long Wadcutter when shooting this, as it is cheap and easy to get and is in fact available in the US market, unlike the actual 8mm Gosser from Fiocchi, of which is annoying because the 32 Smith & Wesson that I got for this is also Fiocchi, but it functions, and what more can we ask for? Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and pack up before the sun completely sets on me. It's starting to get dark out here. Hope you all enjoyed the video. It's been Thomas with Great Northwest Weaponry, and I will see you next time.